Hey everybody, I'm back today with a 6x8 page. Actually, I'm going to do 2 pages in this video. I am working in my Ancestry journey album. If you are interested in what that involves, I will leave a link to my initial kind of walkthrough part of that video. I'm going to be working on one of the hard stories for today, and I'm going to start by kind of having a struggle. I pulled out my Marigold 6x paper pad because I knew it had some kind of heritage or ancestry type patterns that would work well. And I'm just going to struggle a little bit. I'm going to go through a couple sheets of paper trying to decide exactly which pattern I want to use for these pockets. I'm using one of the kind of odd-sized pocket pages, and I think that may have also helped in kind of tripping me up a little bit, but also I really wanted to use this pocket page because it just kind of worked well with what documentation that I had. Andre is saying hello to all of you. If you can hear him in the background, I'm not sure if the mic will pick him up or not. So to continue on here, I'm going to kind of struggle a little bit till I kind of get an idea of what I want to do, but I'll talk to you a little bit about this story and what I want to talk about. So, as I stated in my first video, there are some sad stories that I really want to get told in this album. And one of them is the one we're going to do today, which is about my great aunt. My grandmother's sister. Her name was Dorothy, and she passed away when she was 9 years old. Growing up, my grandmother would tell me the story about her, about how she died, things like that. And she actually passed away in a car accident, saving my grandmother's life. My grandmother was 3 at the time. So I don't have any pictures of her. To the best of my knowledge, my grandmother doesn't have any photos of her at all. And when I went in through my ancestry and my family tree, I found a couple of kind of documents about her. Like I found her name on a census from 1940, which was the year that she died. I found where she was buried, a newspaper article that had some of the details and things about her when she passed away, and then I also had her death certificate. But that was it. I don't have any photos of her, and I've never seen a photo of her. And I really wanted to get her story told and put her into this album. I also have the story that my grandmother told me. So I made sure to kind of type that up, and that's going to be my journaling on the other side of this page. So I went ahead and you saw me mess with so many papers there. I could not decide what papers. I didn't want something that was too joyful. I didn't want something that was too dark. And so I'm going to settle on these patterns. So some of the papers, the pattern papers, well, some of the papers are from Marigold, the Marigold 6x8 paper pad. And then that tag and this little ephemera piece are going to be the smaller elements on my page. So what I have here is I have at the top and the bottom, you can see there, I have the location of where she's buried, and then I have her name on the census, which, funnily enough, was actually from the year that she passed away. And you can see, like, my grandmother is on that census. She was 3 at the time, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and use both of those things. So I'm matting my 2 photos onto these pattern papers, and then actually, before I put them in the pockets, I'm going to flip them over, and I am going to write what this information is. And I'm also going to grab some of these little phrase stickers and add a few phrases that are appropriate. Again, not things that are, happy, but things that say things like documented or remember, things like that. That long skinny piece in the middle is going to work perfectly for my journaling on the other side. But on this side, I was at a loss a little bit as to what I wanted to do. I definitely knew I wanted to add something to that middle section, I just kind of wasn't 100% sure what. I thought about adding like a little title, which is what I am going to end up doing at the end, but not with those black alphabets. I'm just going through the Marigold sticker book and seeing if there's anything else I want to add, because that Marigold sticker book, it matches the pattern paper, and it also is going to make sure that it coordinates and is the right kind of aspect ratio for the rest of the pockets and the spread. I am being joined today by Crystal from Miss Pineapple Papers. I know that my video is going to go up late today. It might technically go up early tomorrow morning, but I will be sure to add Crystal's link in the comment down in the description box down below so that you can go over and say hello to her. And she probably did, in fact, I know she did a nice 12 by 12 layout if you're interested in a 12 by 12 project. I'm just showing you there how I wrote behind those pictures. And now here are the other pictures and the journaling that I have. So the newspaper article was hard because even online it is cropped in super tight, like it almost cuts off some of the wording. So I have to be okay with that and just move on with what I have. I went ahead and grabbed my Maggie Holmes sticker book from American Crafts, and I specifically went looking for an arrow because I'm going to go back to my first page, as you can see here. I decided that I wanted to add an arrow that kind of pointed to the section of the census that lists my grandmother's family, her mother, her father, herself, her brother, and her sister, Dorothy. And while I'm going through that sticker book, I came across those foil alphabets, and there's loads of them. They're very small tile alphabets, but they would be perfect. They are perfect for just adding that little bit of a title that I was thinking I wanted to do earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just spell out "in loving memory" on that center section of the page protector. And then once I have those letters in place, then I'm definitely going to flip it over and work on the second page, which is going to go much quicker than the first page. Not so much fidgeting. I kind of was in a groove at this point. So I have my 2 photos, and then I have my journaling that I sized to fit into that long center piece of the pocket. And now I'm going to go ahead, and you know what? I don't want to waste all that paper that I cut up for the first side, so I'm going to use a little bit of it. I'm actually going to use the rest of that kind of rusty red sheet, and then I'm also going to go ahead and use this plaid sheet. And I really love how this turned out. When I put my journaling down, the journaling like completely covered the mustardy yellow, which I do like, but I like how soft it looks without it. And that's not going to stay there. But I'm going to fidget with it a little bit anyway. I just spent a lot of time and energy and moving papers around because I really had it in my head that this is one of those projects that I almost need or want to be perfect. Like I want the perfect embellishments and the perfect papers. And I am never that kind of scrapbooker, but this project it means a lot to me that it is done really, really well, so that when it is finished, I have all of this information. And if none of my other albums ever get passed down to my children or ever get passed down to my nieces and nephews or anything, these are the albums I want to be passed down and kept and things like that. So that makes them for me like extra special. So I've decided on my papers for this side of the page. And now I can just kind of start to think about some embellishments. I just want embellishments in those 2 smaller cards. And I'm going to end up using some more stickers from this Maggie Holmes sticker book. So this was a good stash busting project. I cut down ephemeras and tags from the ephemera pack, and I used a good bit of stickers from both of these sticker books. And I'm just choosing some stickers that say things like captured, documented, remember this, things like that. And I really like how this turned out. I'm happy with these decisions I made, even though it took me a little bit of time to kind of get there. And I have been really, really wanting to kind of really get started on this album, like get into the meat of it. I'm going to show you here. I did do like a title page, and I did almost like a page that talks about what this album is, why I decided to go ahead and create it, those types of things. So I have the title of the album, which is my ancestry journey, and then I have a title, a page that talks about why do I want to document these things. This is one of the reasons I want to document these things, because this my great aunt saved my grandmother's life, and I think that it's important that she be remembered for who she was and what she did, even though she was only 9. So I have showing you here like the beginning album. I have that title page done, and then you can see the page that I have there on the left. That is the page that has the why. Then I'm going to start to put these dividers in. So I have these 2 pages, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think I've decided I'm going to divide them into 2 for now: maternal stories and ancestry and paternal stories and ancestry. And I think that depending on how far my ancestry journey goes and everything that I find out and what I want to add to this album, one of the things that might happen is I may end up with 2 albums, one that is my maternal family and one that is my paternal family. But for now, this is where we are, and I'm kind of showing you here how this album looks. You can see the title page and how I have it divided now. And there we go, all updated. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for listening to Dorothy's story, and I hope that I did a good job documenting her short but very meaningful life. And I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye.